the fact that 5 prior, alleged victims testified, that could be a grounds.
Yeah, it could be. Anahita, stand by, if you will. Let's bring in a reporter who was actually inside the courtroom when the judge handed down Cosby's sentence of at least 3 years behind bars. He is Bobby Allen. He covers criminal justice for WHYY News. Bobby, I was reading your tweets as you were sending him out of the courtroom there. Give us an idea of the mood and Bill Cosby's demeanor when the judge was just getting. Oh, I'm sorry. We got Bill Cosby walking out right now. Where's that camera? There he is. So Bill Cosby, hold on a second, if you will, Bobby. We've got Bill Cosby now walking out. You heard earlier his spokespeople say that Bill Cosby was doing fine, that Bill Cosby was wrongly convicted. They're, of course, setting up the appeal here. Bill Cosby is now being placed into a vehicle. He'll be taken directly to Montgomery County Jail where he'll be processed. The process of how long it takes to actually go from the jail to the prison, I'm unclear. Anahita, maybe you know this. Is it a...
It's a process. They have to process him, get his fingerprints, get him all checked out medically as well. I think it was interesting that we heard that in prison they might assign him an inmate that will assist him because he is blind, because he is in poor health. I think that will be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, so Bill Cosby is now in the car. He will be taken to Montgomery County Jail. I want to bring Bobby Allen back in. He said he covers criminal justice for WHYY News. Bill Cosby is now kind of moving. And Bobby, I want to get your feel of what he was like and what the mood was like in the courtroom right before the judge gave the sentence.
So the judge gave away pretty quickly that he was going to get a state sentence. He said, Cosby's defense team pushed for probation. I don't think that's appropriate, the judge said. The Cosby defense team pushed for an intermediate county sentence. I don't think that's appropriate. I think total confinement is appropriate. And that sounds kind of wonky to a general audience, but I cover criminal justice in Pennsylvania, and I knew right away that meant he's getting a state sentence. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that means at least 2 years. And indeed, when Judge O'Neill said he's getting between 3 to 10 years, that wasn't a surprise to me, but it was a surprise to many people because they were thinking, what is the sentence? What is he saying? It was a very long-winded statement from Judge O'Neill from the bench, but the whole time Cosby's just looking down, leaning back in his chair, not having much of a reaction. I turned around to look at, there was a row of accusers, about half a dozen of them, and they too, stony-faced, looking straight ahead. It was remarkable how quiet the courtroom was. I mean, really, really, really quiet, and that just added to the intense suspense.
Bobby, even after the sentence was read, there was no outburst in the courtroom. The victims didn't say a word. It was just very quiet, as was Cosby?
Yeah, so when the sentence was read, Cosby's defense team started right away saying, look, we have a really good appeal issue. You ought to release him so he can work on this appeal. They went back in chambers and hashed it out, and I went into the hallway, as did many accusers and like a sea of reporters, and then you did spot a few Cosby accusers inconsolably crying with their attorneys. There was a few others who were hugging and tears streaming down their face, but in the courtroom, they really contained that emotion, which was truly amazing. And Cosby too, like a reporter said earlier, he took off his jacket, he rolled up his sleeves. Sheriff's deputies surrounded him, and we all knew, well, he's about to get handcuffed. But they did not put the cuffs on in the presence of reporters. All the journalists had to leave the room. Sheriff's deputies sealed it off and said, if any of you guys take out your phones, you're going to be arrested. So none of us took any photos.